Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 11 of Going the Distance. I'm Nicholas Delgado, and I'm your host for everything to do with high school running in Central Illinois. Make sure to follow on Instagram and other socials at Going the Distance IL, and tune in every Wednesday for a new episode. Also, check out our new website at www.goingthedistance.co. Today, not a super long episode, but we're going to be going over all the running statistics from these past weeks IHSA regionals and talking about next week's upcoming sectionals. So the reason it's probably going to be a little shorter is Conference Corner is now cut out because there is no conference meets anymore. There's nothing leading up to. Everybody's kind of a free-for-all team in their ways trying to make it to state. So let's just get right into it, and we'll start with our weekly recap. We'll start off with a 1A regional I wanted to cover locally. It was the PND regional. Like I said, 1A. Elmwood comes out with a win with this with 50 points over Peoria and Notre Dame with 58 points, and Eureka right behind with 61 points. Isaiah Hill, the senior of Elmwood, wins the meet individually in 16:23.8 over Dean Witzig, the senior from El Paso Gridley, in 16:35.4. Important to note, this is a 5K, and it's at Donovan, so times are going to be way slower. But great runs by those people. Personally, I know Josh Weeks ran somewhere in the 16:30s last year at Donovan, and he ended up running, well, state was a mess, but I think he would have run sub 15 at state, so it looks like both those boys are in great shape as we're cutting down into the final weeks here. Out of this regional, we had 1A has 7 qualifiers from the regional. So it is Elmwood, Peoria, Notre Dame, Eureka, El Paso Gridley, Princeville, Deer Creek Mackinac, and Illini Bluffs. So congrats to everybody there moving on to sectionals, and good luck this week. The next regional I wanted to cover was also local. It's the Normal University 2A regional. Mount Zion comes out with the win in 55 points over Taylorville with 63 points. The senior of Normal U-High, Mason Hart, wins the race in 15:29.8 over Julian Baker, the senior of Mount Zion, in 15:40.7. It is important to note that U-High did not run their full varsity, which obviously they would have won. But they still ran the top couple of runners and then the bottom end of their varsity. So there are the qualifiers out of this regional. There were only 6 because it's 2A. It's Mount Zion, Taylorville, U-High, Mahomet Seymour, Chatham Glenwood, and Lincoln. So congrats to everybody there. Go look at sectionals. Next up, it's the Galesburg 2A regional. Sterling comes away with the win in 43 points over Geneseo with 55 points. Dale Johnson, the senior of Sterling, wins in 15:44.6 over Dylan Gale, the junior of Geneseo, in 15:59.3. The qualifiers from this regional are Sterling, Geneseo, Dunlap, IVC, Rock Falls, and Macomb. So, important to note here, a couple good individuals coming out of there. Galesburg just missed the cutoff. There was a fast runner from Limestone named Jackson Manley. So there will be some good competition, or from individuals at least, coming out of there. And they will meet up with the Metamora 2A regional in the Geneseo sectional this weekend, which I'll get to that later. But that's a good transition to the Metamora 2A regional. Washington comes away with the win in 47 points over Morton with 58 points. Kyler, it's spelled weird, but I think it's Coiler. I'm going to go with Coiler. Coiler Swanson, the freshman of Morris, wins the race in 15:09.3 over Josh Weeks, the senior of Morton, in 15:09.3. Really close race here. Swanson was ahead of Weeks going into the last 200 meters, but it looked like Josh kind of caught up with him. And obviously, the math say he did, but just went down to the hundredths of a second, I guess he was not there. So great finish by both of them. It was fun to watch. It was a good race all the way around, too. Big PR for Coiler Swanson, even though I know it's not a full 3-mile course. Really fast time. So, because I've talked about this in the past, but Metamora course, even though it's short, the times seem to translate well to Detweiller. So kind of an upset there on the individual side. I don't think really anybody saw that coming. And then same with the team side. There was a huge upset by Washington, but Morton did not run Jonas Swathridge. So that is an important piece. That senior is a very important piece to Morton's team. So that could be the case. But it wasn't like U-High where they didn't run everybody. They only didn't run Jonas. So definitely shows you that Washington is within striking distance. Anything can happen on any given day. So qualifies out of this regional: Washington, Morton, Morris, Pontiac, Metamora, and Manteno. Congrats to everybody there. And like I said, they will meet up with the Galesburg regional in Geneseo this Saturday. Some individual performances for the week. We have the weekly top times for the whole state. For 1A, Gavin Geneseo, the senior from Benton, comes away with it in 14:59.4 at the Chester 1A regional. Dylan Nally, the senior from Marion, comes away with the 2A weekly top time in 14:33.5 at the Olney Richland County 2A regional. And Muhammad Abdullahi, the senior of Mather, comes away with the 3A top time of the week in 14:48.78 at the Oak Park River Forest 3A regional. So congrats to those guys. None of them beat the season top times for the whole state, but really, they're really fast. It's 14:12 for 1A, 14 flat for 2A, and 14:17 for 3A. So those are some hard times to beat. Last year when I did this podcast, I don't believe those times were that fast. So really impressive work by everybody this year. And I guess we'll see. State's looking like right now we should be decent condition, but you never know. Things can change. And obviously times is not what people are racing for at state, but if it's good conditions, it usually produces some good times. So I'm excited to be out there and see what happens. Moving on to runner of the week. I gave the local run of the week to the senior from El Paso Gridley, Dean Witzig. He took second place at the Peoria Notre Dame 1A regional at Donovan Park. He ran a 16:35.4 for a 5K on an extremely rough course. Donovan is not easy. Lots of hills. Obviously the conditions weren't perfect. There's some decently strong wind. I don't know how it was like out there, but for a tough course and a 5K, 16:35 is really good. And like I said, Josh Weeks, who was probably going to go under 15 last year if it wasn't for the awful course conditions, he ran around that time at Donovan for the regional last year. So really impressive by him. He's definitely looking to go low or even sub 15 for state, like I said, given good conditions, which is really good for 1A. So it's good for anybody, but it could place him really well in 1A. So congrats to him, and I look forward to see what he can do as we move into sectionals and then state. Statewide, I had to give it to Muhammad Abdullahi, the senior from Mather. He won the Oak Park River Forest 3A regional with the fastest 3A time of the week, and I must note the only time under 15 this week for 3A guys. Don't know why, but that's what happened, so congratulations to him. He PR'd on a course that isn't Detweiller. Now, I don't know anything about this course, but that's impressive. It's a great win over great competition, especially in like 3A regionals like that. And he led his team to third place in his regional, with which Mather was a 2A team last year. So to place third in a regional in 3A, but not that much, is really impressive. And that's a strong regional too. So hopefully he can help the rest of his team continue on to sectionals and even state, or continue on to state from sectionals, I guess. And see how they can perform against the rest of the 3A competition. Finally, I have a weekly outlook here for just some sectionals. I picked out 3 sectionals, one from each class to go over. So Elmwood running this weekend. Elmwood, obviously. The teams to look for there: Delavan, El Paso Gridley, Elmwood, Eureka, Deer Creek Mackinac, and Notre Dame. Should be a good 1A race there. A lot of those teams, I think almost all those teams should make it to state. And if not, individuals from both, the ones that don't. But those are some really good 1A schools that can be a well throughout the year, have posted some really good times. I definitely think local-wise, the 1A schools are definitely going to show up at state this year too. So I think we're going to have a wide variety of local conferences representing, and hopefully we can make Central Illinois look better in Chicago. So that is motivation for anybody listening who is going to be running out of sectional this weekend. Make Central Illinois proud. We need to beat Chicago. No offense to anybody in Chicago, but this is a Central Illinois podcast, so we do want to represent. So congratulations to everybody there. I'm hoping to see you guys advance to state and kill at state. So good luck. Moving on, the 2A sectional at Geneseo, which I've alluded to before. A lot of local teams here. Dunlap, Metamora, Morris, Morton, Sterling, and Washington. This is going to be a crazy regional. Going to be a lot of fast times, I think. Given good course conditions. And I don't know what the course is. I've heard it's not like the most favorable for times, but it should be good competition, which is what matters. And a lot of these guys need it as we're tuning up for state here. Gets them in the right headspace as they are ready to compete for those state placements, because every point matters once you get to state. But once again, Middle Illini hopefully can bring some teams here, and the rest of Central Illinois bring some teams to state, represent, and see how we can compete against those Chicago schools. And the 3A region or sectional I chose is Granite City. I chose them instead of Hinsdale Central just because this is where our local teams go. So the local team that's going, well, the most local is Pekin, but their team's actually not going. It's just individuals. Josh Holloway and Devin Hayes. But I did want to say, because also Normal Community West will be representing there at Granite City this weekend. So that's why I chose that over Hinsdale Central. But then also Plainfield North, Plainfield South, and O'Fallon will all be there. So there's going to be good competition for everybody. Hopefully we can sneak either Normal Community or Normal Community West through to the state finals. And if not, at least sneak a couple individuals there, because that 3A competition is hard. So it would be nice to see some local teams compete against those huge 3A Chicago schools. Seems to be a big theme here today, but that is the reality of it. Chicago usually does overpower us in postseason events. So it'd be great to see some Central Illinois representation. But other than that, that is all I have for you today. Thank you for listening. We have a big week this week, and next week, obviously, the state finals. So tune in for that episode. You won't want to miss it. Like I said, we release episodes every Wednesday. Follow us on our socials at Going the Distance IL. Check out our new website at www.goingthedistance.co. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.